And the thing is that I love you, but I don't love you in the way that I'm supposed to. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Okay, first thing first, excuse me, I'd like to apologize on how I couldn't finish the previous story. Reason being, I actually finished it. It's just that it was way too long, so my sister didn't manage to edit it. Okay, she's gonna kill me for this, but yeah guys, usafunda, so akazi naye ukuthi how to edit the long videos. And then the other reason is that we were writing, so she didn't have enough time. So I decided to post part 1, and then today I'll be continuing with part 2 of how I got played for 2 years. Okay, so yeah, so let me continue. So in my previous video, I remember the last part I talked about was how he left without saying goodbye. So when he got to Vinduk, he sent me a video. I still have the video even today, and he was like, I'm sorry babe for leaving you without saying goodbye. I promise I'm gonna make it up to you, and I miss you so much, and right now I'm trying to sort out my registration and finding a nice place to stay. So the thing is, you know, when someone says something just because they want to make you feel better, and when someone says something because they mean it, it was the way he said that he was going to make it up to me. You know, when someone says something and they really mean it, like you could see it into his eyes. I know it had only been months, but I knew this guy. So that very moment, I immediately forgot on how angry I was at him for leaving without seeing me or without even saying goodbye. So, and then we were fine, and yeah. And fast forward to Feb, I remember one evening I was actually busy in the study ironing, and my sister came, and then he was like, CK is on the phone, he wants to talk to you. So I was surprised, like, why is he calling my sister instead of calling me? And then he was like, babe, can you please come to Namibia? So like I said, the woman did dome. I was like, yeah, when do you want me to pull up? And he was like, June. So I was like, okay, perfect. So from Feb to June, it was a journey of saving. Remember, like, we both students, and we were writing June as well. So we knew we had to make sure that we don't fail because of me pulling up to Namibia, and we had to save to make sure that there's money to accommodate both of us. And he was like, I'm gonna pay for the tickets, all you have to do is pull up. So we were studying, like, we help each other study. Like, he helped me with maths, and we sleep early in the mornings. And then fast forward to June, I wrote, I finished, and I went shopping. And then I remember the day I left, and I was going via Zim. So I told him, God, I'm going to Zim. So when I get to Zim, the plan was that I spent 2 or 3 days that side, then I'll go to him, because he wanted me to spend like 2 weeks with him. So when I went to Zim, first day, second day, a family member passed on, so I couldn't skip the funeral, so I had to wait and attend the funeral. And you know, Zim, sometimes the network sucks, and I didn't get to tell him that I won't be coming the day that I was supposed to come because of the funeral. And I was quiet for, like, I didn't talk to him for 2-3 days, and he called my sisters this side, and he asked them, God, is Oni still coming? And my sister's like, yeah, someone passed on, but she's coming. And I called my sister also, who I've got a lot of siblings, guys. I called my sister, the one that stays in Harare. I was like, can you please buy me a ticket? And then she was like, there are no plane ticket from Zim to Vindu. Like, there are no flights. Doesn't make sense. So she was like, but there's a bus, so if you don't mind taking a bus. So I'm like, okay, no, that's fine. So she bought me a ticket, and then when the funeral was over, I got into a bus, went to Harare, and my ticket was already there. And then I left, and he was checking up on me every second because I called him and told him that I found a bus, so I'm coming. You and Windhoek to Zim to Windhoek is quite a long trip. And I left because we go via Botswana. So I left, and luckily there was this nice girl in the bus. So she gave me her number and I sent it to him so that in case if I can do them, what do you call it, roaming, whatever you call it, he can still have a way of communicating with me. So we were talking, like he was checking up on me every second. And when I was 30 minutes away from Windhoek, I sent him a message using that girl's number, and he was like, let me make my way. And when I got there, he was already waiting, and he had a friend. So the friend was very nice. I actually hugged the friend first before I could even greet him. Oh, and another thing, guys, you know, in Namibia, I see these taxis that we use in Africa. By Africa, I mean they don't use combis. They use like normal taxis, like United States taxis. So we got into a taxi. His friend is sitting in front. I'm sitting at the back. Like we're holding hands. We're looking at each other. Emehlweni, like, oh, upepi wami kade ngamgcina. And then when we got to his place, there's another thing that I loved about him is that he would talk about me with his friends. So they already knew almost the important things that they used to know about a person. So they were like, hi Oni, finally, nice to meet you and please feel welcome. So we went to his room. I needed a bath because I've been in the bus for like more than 30, close to 30 hours. So okay, I took a shower. When I came out, he had already organized food for me, and I ate, and then things happened. Like we were catching up, and we were good, and it was just nice. And then following morning, he left for church. Another thing that shocked me, because this nigga hadn't been to church for ages, but you know, like, we have this thing of when you meet someone, you want to change to be a better person for them. So he started going to church because of me. But I didn't tell him to go to church. Like, I loved him the way that I found him. So he went to church. The following morning, he left me with his friends, which were very amazing. Like, they took me for a walk. It was just good. And so my trip to Windhoek was amazing. Like, we spent so much time together, but then I didn't get to spend 2 weeks. So I came back, and then when I got home, I called him to let him know that I'm got home safe, and I was like, let's go to sleep because it was quite late. And then the following day, like, we were back to normal, like back to the long distance thing. And I remember a few days after that, he was a bit it was a bit distant, and I asked him what was the problem, and he never answered me until today. But anyway, we were fine. So that was July. Yeah, I came back to SA July. So I was with him on, it wasn't my birthday, it was just a few days before my birthday. So it was like our 1 year anniversary, and my birthday was like 3 days after. So I came to SA, we were fine, like we were good. And this guy also made sure that every night before I go to bed, he would make sure that I knew how much he loved me. So who hardly go to bed angry at each other. So that, yeah, and then July. So that, yeah, and then July. So in November, when it was time for him to pull up to SA, I remember he sent me a message one day. He's like, I don't think I'm gonna make it, June. So I asked him what was the problem, and he's like, he's owing his roommate some money that was stolen. By the way, it wasn't his fault, but then the roommate blamed him, so he had to make sure that he raises the money before he could actually come home. And then I remember I had extra money on me. I was like, I'll send you the money, and he was like, don't even, like, I'm not asking, I'll send you the money so you can come home. So I sent him the money, and then he paid the roommate, and then the following day he went to buy his plane ticket. So I was like, oh, okay, so maybe he was telling the truth. The money was the reason why he couldn't come home. So he came, and Oh, the day he was supposed to come, he lost his phone. Oh no, didn't lose it. Something happened to his phone, so he didn't talk. We didn't talk for 4 days before he actually pulled up. So I called Sarah. I was like, when was the last time you spoke to your brother? She was like, I haven't spoken to him also. So I gave up. I was like, okay, maybe he doesn't want to come home. And so if 4 5 days, I got a message and I was like, hey, guess who? And I knew it. I knew that it was him. So I was like, babe, is that you? Then I was like, yeah, it's me. I can't wait to see you. Like, I have so much to tell you. I need to tell you what happened, like why I haven't been online for days. So he was like, when can I see you? I was like, tomorrow, because it was a Saturday, I remember, and the following day was church, and at home we don't miss church. So I went to church, and then after church I told my folks, I'm not going back home with you guys, I'm going to see my baby. So I packed my bag and then I left. So when I got to town, like, we had this guest house where we used to chill. So I was like, I'll meet you at our spot. So I went there, and oh, he came and we met at the park, and then we Ubered to the guest house. So we're there, like, he's telling me what happened, we were catching up, and we were fine. I was just happy that my baby is here and I'm here. We're both fine. So that was December, and January, Christmas. I remember Christmas, my folks were not around. It was just me and my siblings. And then I spent Christmas at home. By then around 5 I left, so I can just go and be with him. And he also left. So we chilled from 5 until 8 9 p.m. at the park. It was dark, like, December is like. So we chilled. And then it was actually the rain that made me come home. And then I called an Uber. I came back home. He left, and New Year we were together. Like, it was fine. And then 28th January, he was leaving, so I would see him 27 in the evening. So we were chilling. He came with Sarah, and they were chilling. Then Sarah left. Then we chilled, and then we said goodbye, and then he left. And another culture that I had developed was that every time when he's leaving, I give him a card. So when he left this first time, I didn't get to give him because he didn't say goodbye. And then when I left Windhoek, I left him a card. And now this time he was going back to Windhoek, I wrote him a card. So I gave it to him. Then he put it at the back of his phone. And then when he was in the plane, he took that card and then he read it. I remember he sent me a message. He was like, I'm in the plane right now and I'm reading your card. Like, you were the one for me. I can't wait. These words were like, I'm gonna wifey you. And then I was like, I'm glad that you liked the card that I wrote. And when he got to Windhoek, he called and we were fine. And so that was January. So January was almost finished. Then Feb, we were good. And I started school, and so I was doing my practical. So now it's like school and work. And then I would tell him like, oh, I'm so tired, work was hectic, and this nigga is like my own Mr. Bean. Like, there's never a dull moment with him. So it makes sure I feel better. And Feb, Valentine, Valentine, or like happy Valentine all the time on the phone. And then March we were fine, April we were good. And then May, I remember he didn't send me a message on the 3rd of May. So I didn't say anything. And then the following day I asked him, why uthule? And he was like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to. And then we went back to normal. And then on the 5th, he did it again. And then the 6th, he didn't say anything. And then the 7th, he didn't say anything still. So I sent him, I remember I took a video. I was like, this thing is becoming a culture of you ignoring me without us fighting. So now I don't know what the reason is, or maybe you want some time out. And then he was like, no, the thing is that it's not you, I'm the problem. It's just that you were just too perfect for me. You deserve someone who's gonna treat you better. And so I was like, what does that mean? He was like, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to. So I was like, okay, fine. And then after that, he kept quiet. And I kept quiet also because I was tired of always being the one that reaches out every time he goes. Like, he goes I don't know. And then that was May, the 7th of May. So the whole of May, from 7 until end of May, he didn't say anything. I didn't say anything either. But that was like the most difficult um, month ever, because ever since I've known him, 2018 until 2020 May, we've never gone for more than 24 hours without talking to each other. So I'm like, I didn't understand, like I didn't do anything wrong, we didn't fight, so why is there quiet? And then June, I also kept quiet, I didn't say anything. So because of work and school, like it kept me so busy. I focused on my school and work, like I was doing very well at school. So it kind of shifted my mind from missing him. So I was so focused on school. And then July, I remember when my birthday was approaching, on the 17th I sent him a message. I'm like, hey. Then he was like, hi Ona, it's been a minute. So I'm like, it's been almost 2 months and a half and you're like, it's a minute. But I didn't want to fight with him. And then on my birthday he didn't say anything. And mind you, the previous 2 years or two birthdays, he's been there, like the first person to send me happy birthday, like to sing for me. And then this time it was different. So I sent him a message like, I don't care whether you're dead in a dish, but it's my birthday. What's wrong with you? And he was like, we need to talk. So I was like, okay, cool. And then when it was actually time to talk, he sent a message. I was like, can you call? That was like the most difficult um, month ever, because ever since I've known him, 2018 until 2020 May, we've never gone for more than 24 hours without talking to each other. So I'm like, I didn't understand, like I didn't do anything wrong, we didn't fight, so why is there quiet? And then June, I also kept quiet, I didn't say anything. So because of work and school, like it kept me so busy. I focused on my school and work, like I was doing very well at school. So it kind of shifted my mind from missing him. So I was so focused on school. And then July, I remember when my birthday was approaching, on the 17th I sent him a message. I'm like, hey. Then he was like, hi Ona, it's been a minute. So I'm like, it's been almost 2 months and a half and you're like, it's a minute. But I didn't want to fight with him. And then on my birthday he didn't say anything. And mind you, the previous 2 years or two birthdays, he's been there, like the first person to send me happy birthday, like to sing for me. And then this time it was different. So I sent him a message like, I don't care whether you're dead in a dish, but it's my birthday. What's wrong with you? And he was like, we need to talk. So I was like, okay, cool. And then when it was actually time to talk, he sent a message. I was like, can you call instead? So we've never voice called, it was always video calling. But on that day he didn't have the guts to video call me, so he tried voice call. So and then something, his network was tripping or something, so we ended up chatting. I was like, you know what, you can. So apparently he started some clothing brand, so he was like, I no longer get time as I used to, things are so different now. So I was like, you know what, just focus on that. When you have time you can call me. And then he didn't. So he sent a message, a long one. He was like, the thing is, you are so perfect for me. I feel like you deserve so much more. You deserve someone who's better than me. Like, you are the most perfect girl I've ever met. And the thing is that I love you, but I don't love you in the way that I'm supposed to. So I was like, what does that mean? He was like, I love you, but I don't love you. So I was like, okay, mhlambe angisazi isilungu, or like, isn't I don't understand English, or I don't know the meaning of the word love. So before that, I got a message from a friend of his that stays in Windhoek. He was like, there's just a clip that I want to show you. So in this clip, it was him. And then his friend asked him, does your girl know that you're single? And then he kept quiet. So I already knew. I just wanted him to confirm it. So yeah, guys, that was that. Like from that day, it was like, I love you, but I don't love you. So I was like, okay, it's cool. Then I was like, I hope you forgive me. And to tell the truth, I was not angry at all because I love this guy. I still do. I love him. You know, when you love someone from the bottom of your heart, you don't love them because of something that they have or something that they do. Because when you love someone because of that, that is not a safe thing. You have to love them for who they are. Because if you love them for a certain thing, when that certain thing is taken away from them, or when they stop doing that certain thing that you love, that means you no longer love them. So I was never angry. I didn't even know how to explain the feeling. I remember I cried, but I had cried those 3 months when we were not talking, those 2.5 months we were talking. So when he sent that message, it was just a confirmation of what I already knew. So yeah, that's it, guys. That's how I got flayed for 2 years, imagine. And then this nigga, mind you, there was a time when he was like putting pressure on me that I help him apply for varsity this side so he can move to this side, and who would plan on how much we want to stay together and how much, like, he wanted us to go to same varsity so we can be together. And then one day, without me doing anything wrong, someone just wakes up and say, "Abakuthandi." Yeah, ne? Like, wabona indoda, Tombo, baleka. So yeah, guys, that's my story. I hope you like it. Please subscribe and share and comment and let me know what are some of the topics that you want me to talk about. Okay, peace.